Terrible news for you today, everyone. The Prime Minister of Portugal has come out and stated that they are likely to be terminating the Portuguese Golden Visa. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what it is that he has said, what the context around this is, what you can expect, and what you should do about it. So let's dive in. Before we do, if you haven't already, welcome. I'm Michael from Offshore Citizen. We help people with international relocation, getting residencies, citizenships, creating Plan Bs, optimizing their global tax burdens, etc. If that is interesting to you or you would like help, please reach out to us. You can book a call with me, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link in the description below, or you can send a message through offshorecitizen.net. The Prime Minister, or the President, I can't remember which, of Portugal came out and made this statement a couple days ago. Forbes did a really terrible piece on the subject, repeating sort of the common propaganda talking points at the moment, which are, of course, that criminals shouldn't be allowed to get EU residency, the EU's cracking down on it, this is a fast track to citizenship, and a bunch of other misinformation. So let's create some context. First of all, the Portuguese Golden Visa was introduced around 10 years ago and has brought about $6.5 billion into the country. The Prime Minister mentioned that they will probably end the program because it has served its purpose, and there may be some argument to that. Certainly, it has been instrumental in putting Portugal on the map. In the last couple of years in particular, we have seen an overwhelmingly large number of people who've been interested in relocating to Portugal. They built quite a nice expat community there. There's quite a growing tech scene there. You have the ability to gain access to the Schengen zone. You have the non-habitual residency regime, which allows you to optimize your taxes for 10 years while you're there. You can get a path to citizenship within 5 years, which, by the way, is exactly the same whether you do this Golden Visa or not. And so it's not true that it's a fast track. It's, in fact, slower to get the residency through Golden Visa than through something like a D7 visa or some of the other methods that we help people with. And it is a situation where you have the same amount of time before you can qualify for a permanent residency and citizenship. In fact, there's some arguments that in certain cases you may be less likely to get citizenship through that method than through some others, depending on your connections to the country. However, it has certainly brought a lot of money locally. The real estate market has gone way, way up over the last 10 years. Most of the investment that goes in is through real estate. And as a result, they changed the rules at the end of last year, raising the rates in the funds and certain other key areas, plus changing so that you could only invest in what they would consider to be kind of low density areas. In spite of that, the July 2022 numbers were, I believe it was double from the July 2021 numbers. So there's been a lot of interest in it. The numbers went crazy. They actually doubled in last September. And so we saw a flurry of interest. We helped quite a few people relocate to Portugal over the last little while, not all through the Golden Visa, some through other visas, but this is a pretty good path. And the reason this was such an attractive path, or is still an attractive path, is because you can have residency there without having to live there for all year round. You can just spend a relatively small amount of time, and that's pretty attractive to a lot of people who want to sort of get their foot in the door with the EU. Now, the Prime Minister or President of the government, whoever it was, has not stated when they will close the program down. It is not a definitive thing that they have closed the program down, but there is a history of closing a bunch of these programs down. We've seen the Bulgarian program close, we've seen the Cyprus program close, we've seen some of the unofficial programs close, etc. And I've been telling people for quite a while, and I would recommend to you, if you have not taken action on it, it's best to take action when it is available, because if it turns out that these things close and they don't last forever, another one was UK, recently closed, then you've lost that opportunity. Whereas if you've got your foot in the door, if you started the process, typically you can go through and finish it. Varies country to country, but very often it's kind of like they cut it off to new people. So where does that leave us? That leaves us, if you're in a situation where you have been interested in getting an EU residency, if you've been interested in getting an EU citizenship and would like something that doesn't require you to actually live there, the competitive programs typically don't lead to citizenship or don't usually do so. So for example, we can help you with Greece. There's a golden visa there. It's fairly easy to access. 250,000 euro investment, but basically doesn't lead to citizenship. If you actually go and live there and spend a bunch of time, then in theory it can, but it's quite difficult. Cyprus, similar sort of thing. They have a residency by investment program there, something called the 6-2 option. But again, very difficult to get citizenship from it. There is the indefinite residency program in Malta, doesn't lead to citizenship more or less, etc., etc. So this is certainly one of the easiest paths to citizenship in the EU, which is clearly a really great passport. It gives you a lot of access. You can live in any EU member state after that, and gives you pretty good access in the meantime. So if that is something that you're interested in, I recommend you take action on it quickly. So feel free to reach out to us. Happy to help you with this, with figuring out, what is the best investment for you. For context, it's a 280 to 500,000 euro investment. This is money that you, in theory, get back. You're investing it, so you have some sort of an asset there. You, in fact, typically are going to get a rate of return off of that asset. And so it's not money that goes away, although there are legal fees involved on top of that. You can, of course, bring your family, which is great. And I think it's just in general, really, really excellent program. So for those who are interested, please reach out to us. Again, you can send a message through offshorecitizen.net. Hopefully they keep the program around longer, but I would not want to take a chance on it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next video.